Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Sheridan Davis and welcome to my channel, Pretty Dark Skinned Girl TV. So again, my name is Sheridan Davis. This is my first video on this channel on YouTube. I am a preacher's daughter from Chicago, Illinois. Whoop whoop, shout down. And I recently wrote a book called Pretty for a Dark Skinned Girl, which will be out February 7th at midnight on Amazon.com. Wait a minute, dance voice. I'll be doing that a lot on this channel. Anywho, it's called Pretty for a Dark Skinned Girl, and I am super excited about it. I asked some of my social media friends and followers to ask me questions that I could start out with this first video with. I'll just be answering some of those questions. And so here we go. The title, Pretty for a Dark Skinned Girl. First of all, let me say it has less to do with beauty and more to do with confidence. I decided to write this book a long time ago. I said something on my Facebook page about colorism, and I said, you know what, one day I'm going to write a book about it, and I just did. And this is my second book. The first one is called Save Sex, and it's a book about abstinence. I mean, you'll see more videos about save sex and things of that nature, but so I had already said that I wanted to write this book, and then I was watching some modeling competition on TV, and I think it's the one that Naomi Campbell's modeling competition. Anyhow, I was watching it, and it was down to 2 girls left, and one of them was a very dark-skinned woman. She was gorgeous, and then the other one was also very gorgeous, and I think she may have been like maybe Latino or something like that. Like, she had an exotic look to her. So Naomi asked the 2 ladies, why should you be the winner? I don't remember what the dark-skinned girl said, but the exotic looking girl says,
I should win because I'm more racially ambiguous.
Okay, I almost fell out of my chair. And they kept going with the competition as if she didn't say anything wrong. And I'm like, do they not know what the word ambiguous means or something? Like, why is this allowed on TV? And who is the editor that allowed me to see this, me to view this on my TV screen? So you can just say I should win because I'm light skinned and you're dark skinned. That's not because I'm more of a talented model than her, not because I'm more of a role model, not because my walk is more fierce than hers. I should win because I'm light-skinned. I am racially ambiguous, meaning you can't really tell what color I am, but with her, she black. Wow. And it made me even further want to write this book, because I'm like, I don't understand why that's not a problem. I don't understand why that's okay for someone to say on national television, international television. And I remember it automatically brought me back to a place where I remember being at school and being teased because I was dark skinned. I remember being called the jolly black giant and blacker than black. Well, I'm tall, by the way. The jolly black giant and blacker than black and all this stuff. I remember that. I remember being teased and say, if we turn off the lights, all we're gonna see is your eyes and teeth. Like, I remember that. And so that's what made me write the book, because I wanted to encourage. I also wanted us as a people, black people, to stop acting like colorism does not exist. To stop acting like white privilege and light skin privilege does not exist, because it does. And so this is not a blame thing where y'all light skin, so y'all got this, and y'all light skin because it's not that. let's put it out on the table so that we can have this discussion, so that generations later, my kids and their kids and their kids shouldn't have to worry about going to school and somebody talking about them for their color. That's some self-hate stuff within our own community, you know, the fact that it's like, oh, you're so dark, you know, blah, 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 if being dark is a bad thing. How many of us have heard from our parents or our peers, you better get in this house so you don't get no blacker. Blacker, as if there is something wrong with being black. And that is an attitude, that is a social attitude that has been passed down to us for years, right? But we do need to acknowledge the fact that because of slavery, because of those things that did happen, we now have these notions in our mind, right? Like white is right, so light is right because it's closer to white. And so that's what made me write this book. But the whole colorism thing is not just a black thing. Italians go through it too. Asians go through it too. Our Latino brothers and sisters, they go through it too. So if you are, especially the Indians, they go through it too. The caste system is all about color, you know. So I believe that it is, this is a topic that spreads across the board, no matter what race you are. If you are a minority, I'm pretty sure you have dealt with this, or you know someone who has dealt with it. So I think it's a pretty important topic. Can men read it? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Just like women struggle with that, so do men. Dark-skinned men are in. Like, what does that mean? At some point they're out? Like they're out of style? Light-skinned men are in right now. Oh, we've heard stuff like that. And it's just sad that we would have to even think like that. Do you know how many dark-skinned women grow up and they say, okay, when I get older, I'm gonna get a light-skinned man or a white man so my kids don't have to be dark? I was that girl. I was that girl. You know, that was me. And it's a shame that we have to think like that. And my parents went through it because he was too black. What does that mean? You know, and sometimes we mask this colorism by saying, I just have a preference. But sweetie, where does your preference come from? What made you have this preference? What is the sociology behind your preference? Like, what's in your mind? What's making you say, I want a light-skinned woman, or even I want a dark-skinned woman, because light-skinned women are this, dark-skinned women are this. That is horrible. You cannot categorize all people. And so that's what made me write this book. I am coming from it from an African American point of view. This book is a memoir, so it is my story. You know, I address those issues, but this is my story. So I told it from my point of view, the stuff that I went through as a child, the stuff that I even went through coming into adulthood. You know, I'm 23 years old, and it took me from the time, you know, until I was about 19 for me to get over that mentality, that hurt mentality. I was very hurt by the things that I encountered as a child, as a teen, as a youth. I was very hurt by those things, and I felt like I couldn't move on. Surely I'm never gonna date because I'm too dark. Who gonna want me and I'm this dark? You know, all of those things went through my head, and so you know, you gotta read the story to see exactly what happened, exactly what I went through. And it comes out February 7th, and I hope you guys get it. What do I hope people gain out of reading this book? Honestly, I want Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl to be, as Kim Zolciak from Real Housewives of Atlanta said, a conversation piece, right? So I would like for after someone reads this book, they can look at themselves and say, you know what, I have been one of those people who bullied because somebody was dark skinned. You know what, I have been one of those people who said, she's pretty to be a dark skinned girl. She's pretty for a dark skinned girl, you know. Or I have been one of them people one of those people, excuse me, child, I do speak correct English. I have been one of those people who have talked down to someone because of their skin color. And for what? I want this to be a conversation piece, a think piece. And so hopefully 4 generations from now, if Jesus ain't came back, because y'all know he on his way back, y'all. 4 generations from now, that we can start getting out of the mode of colorism, right? So that we cannot feel ashamed because of our skin tone. So that dark-skinned women are not at a disadvantage because of their skin tone. So that we begin to love ourselves, right? Because we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So hopefully that can happen from my book. Hopefully this book can be the catalyst. And I know it's not the only book about dark-skinned women or dark-skinned people, but I wanted to tell my story. You know, everybody doesn't have the same story. I wanted to tell mine. I wanted to tell the story about how this affected me. Because it did. And, you know, we as a community, oftentimes, we talk down to our dark-skinned women and men, and we teach them to have low self-esteem. We teach them self-hate as a community because this is something we pass down from generation to generation. We teach them self-hate, and then we get beside ourselves when we see them on television on Love and Hip Hop acting a fool. Well, you taught them how not to respect themselves. And hopefully we can just grow from this story, from my story, from your story. And you know what? I realized while I was writing this book, I was still hurt about some things, you know, and it became a great source of healing for me. But one thing I did realize while writing it, it's not just my story. It's millions of other dark-skinned women's stories. Because sometimes we do feel alone, like you're the only person that's going through it. No, it's millions of girls' stories. So I hope I answered all the questions. Those who ask questions about writing, I am going to answer those questions separately. I know that some of y'all want to write books, want to write poetry, music, blah, 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 blah. And I have written in all of those categories. So what I am going to do, I have something really special coming up for you guys in the spring, along with a couple more of my peers. And so, yeah, I will be telling y'all about that soon. And please pick up Pretty for a Dark Skinned Girl February 7th on Amazon.com. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, I hope you come out for my book signing. Love you guys. Till the next video.